The shopping cart is ready for deployment, but our database is running locally. We therefore need to deploy the database to a MongoDB hosted online. There are many companies offering this service. One of the most popular is MLab. If you go to mlab.com, you can quickly create a free account. Once you create your account, you can create a new MongoDB deployment. Select single node and sandbox to use a free plan. And write a name for your database. This plan is really good for testing online your MongoDB, but do not use the free plan for production. Once the database is created, you can access the instance and manually create collections, but instead we will import in here our local database and all collection and records will be automatically created. Before we dump our local database, we need to go to the user tab and create a user for the database we just created online. I'm creating a user called test user and just test as password. Now from terminal we move to the bin folder located inside the Mongo directory. If you remember the previous MongoDB lectures, we saw that inside the bin folder in Mongo there are various utilities. One of these is MongoDump. Now we can ask MongoDump to look for a database locally called bookshop and output in a directory somewhere in our computer. For instance, I'm asking to dump the database in my downloads folder. Now if I go to downloads, I can see that MongoDump has created a bookshop folder with all my collections in BSON and JSON format. All I need to do now is to run a command that will upload the database to my brand new instance in MLab. In MLab, you go to Tools tab and will find the instruction how to import or export databases. You can copy the string with the command for the task you want to run. I want to import a database in binary format, so I select the first in the list. I paste it in terminal. I specify the local directory where I dumped my database, and the user and password I set in MLab. Finally, I have to add the / in front of Mongo restored, which is the name of the utility. Otherwise, it won't find it. And database is quickly imported in MLab. Now you can even go to the collection tab in MLab and obviously refresh the browser. And an exact copy of our database is now hosted online. And I can even access to the collection and modify the data. Now the last thing we need to do is to connect our app to this instance of database. So in the entry page of your database in MLab, you will find the connection string. I copy this one and paste it in API server. I would recommend you not to remove the connection string to the local DB because you might want to use it for development later on. Just comment it. Then your MLab user and password And from now on, you will be using the online DB in MLab. Just remember to restart your server. And as you see, everything is working, but the data is now provided by MLab. If you are unsure if the data is really coming from the remote database, you can always go to MLab, manually modify one record, and refresh the browser. And as you see, the new data is reflected in the website too.